Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Cody. This is Devin. Meet Devin for the first time. This is Yoda. He decided to join us tonight, too. And so a lot of you are wondering what happened to part 3. Unfortunately, Steve, he wasn't feeling well, so we weren't able to do part 3. And then he moved, so hopefully at some point we'll be able to do a part 3 and get Steve back on.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
That's fine. So anyways, what we're going to do here is we're going to do kind of like a case review. We're going to go through all the things of why...
I thought we were going to start with what the channel is.
Yeah. So what we're basically doing here... is we're not, a lot of people have been asking this in the comment section and talking about this. We're not here to debunk everything.
No.
Our channel is about getting to the truth regardless of how you and I feel. We say that all the time.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't matter how I feel, it doesn't matter how Devin feels, all that matters is the truth.
Right, exactly.
So what we're going to do is try to just be as non-biased as possible.
And call each other out on our biases.
Yeah, right.
And our shortcomings or whatever, misconceptions about things or...
Yeah, and gather all information and put it right...
Because we're definitely not coming at this from the same side.
Right.
Like, I'm... in a lot of subjects, I'm way more skeptical than he is, but on a lot of subjects, he's way more skeptical than I am. And
right.
There's a lot of things that I believe that he just,
right.
has a lot of good reasons for not believing, and vice versa. So we decided that it would be really nice to have that kind of voice on YouTube, where it's, common. We're not experts at anything, but we're both very, very thorough in our investigations.
Yes. You have to be.
Yeah, we're the kind of people that leave no stone unturned. Dude, and today, actually all this week in preparation for this, we've been watching all sorts of documentaries, and today we really crunched down on watching stuff together and basically taking notes on what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Mostly strictly involving the Travis Walton case today.
Yes, and that's another thing too, is that it's not just going to be aliens and UFOs. We're gonna have a whole wide variety of different things. We could do like
Tesla files.
Yeah, right. We could do Tesla files. We could do histories, mysteries, criminal history.
Philadelphia experiment. It could be D.B. Cooper.
Could be Jack the Ripper.
Could be Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Right. It could also go like the Annabelle case or something.
Yeah. Right. That's another one. Right.
We literally are not discriminating in what the mystery is, and we're trying to bring as little bias to any of these subjects as possible, going strictly off of facts.
And all available information from all angles.
Right. And that brings us to, like, you should feel welcome in helping these investigations and bringing any information that any people that anybody that we can get into contact for anything.
And we've gotten a lot of that in the comment section, so thank you very much, everyone, for reaching out to us. I know there's a few people that want to be on the podcast, and I would absolutely love to have them on and interview them.
And a couple of other podcasters I see are already watching us and subscribed, so thank you so much for that. That's an honor. That's great.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I know this is the UFO thing is a very hot button topic, so we'll be on that for a little while.
Right.
One case could take 2 weeks or it could take 2 months. And then the next one could be in the same genre, and then the month after that could be something totally different.
Right. Which you'll catch the vibe of the channel before too long. Like it's might seem all over the place, kind of, but it's all about mysteries. It's about
finding out what's real and what's not real.
Finding out what's real. Fact or fiction.
Exactly. And in the case of Travis Walton, this one has been going on for 50 years, and the funny thing about that is that it's got so convoluted, and there's so many different parts to it. Just the other day, there were so many people that were just absolutely, totally convinced that Travis was telling the truth, and then there's other people that are like, hey, no, I look at all this other evidence, it's a hoax. We've got to look at all sides.
Yeah.
And I read the book back in 1993. I saw the movie Fire in the Sky, and I saw Paranormal Witness. And for the longest time, I believed it. And I do believe that there is something unknown out there. I do believe that our government probably does have something. But unfortunately, when it comes to my personal feelings about this particular case, but especially with what's come out lately, it's getting really hard for me to even believe it. And I'm really glad also that I know Steve and I knew John. And with all this other stuff that's coming out, to me it's looking like it was a hoax. I can't get around it. So we're going to go through all of the things out here as far as what.
Well, we've already established basically that it is most likely a hoax. Now it's figuring out how, why, who. Like, well, I guess we know why and who, but
Yeah.
Mostly like we were talking about. It's very weird that all of these people they seem to think they actually saw a UFO, but also seem to think it's fake. I really want to talk about Mike's confession.
That's a big hot button topic too. There are a lot of people out there that are like, no, it's edited because Mike said it was edited later, but then but if you listen to it, I'm not convinced.
It doesn't sound edited.
But there are weird things in it too.
But not edited.
Right.
You know? Like it's a clip of a conversation. It's not the whole conversation, but it's not like that bit of conversation we have is chopped up in any way.
And that's the way I felt too. But there's also some weird things he says in it too. Like, I don't know where the UFO came from. Like, how do you not know where the UFO came from if you were part of the hoax?
Part of the hoax, yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
So I see why people say that it's edited, but at the same time, when you really listen to it, it's very fluid. He's not speaking from, everybody says he's talking about Philip Glass, but he's not really, when you listen to it. He's talking about his own perspective.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get into that right here.
So what we're going to do, the idea for this section or whatever, this episode, is we're just going to watch some of the stuff that we've been going through this week and the stuff we've been picking out and basically doing like a live reaction. We've already seen this stuff, but you know, when we watch it, we're going to have our reactions to it and our little conversations or whatever, and we'll have the videos that we're watching up for you so you can see too. And we're all just going to go through it together and say what we think about this stuff.
Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready.
Here you go. All right.
So this first one, Travis Walton fails polygraph test.
Yeah. So this is from the Moment of Truth.
The game show thing?
The game show thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975?
Yes.
That answer is
Look at him looking. Gotta make it dramatic.
Yeah, wait.
false.
Oh, no way. He says with a smile.
Well,
Look at him.
Dana.
She looks actually shocked. Well, I think she kind of looks like she's faking too at the same time.
And so I try not to judge or root one way or the other, but I was really hoping that this answer was a true answer. All I will say to you is that when asked this while strapped to the polygraph machine, it was deduced that your response was conclusively deceptive. Sadly, I'll say that the $100,000 you stood to win by answering truthfully is not yours, but I will happily say that by having the courage to face us and be here and answer these questions, 14 of which you answered truthfully, we have $25,000 for you. Is there...
Well,
Okay, so I guess we can probably stop it there.
yeah, so what's your reaction to that? Because I have a couple of things I want to...
So we were watching a video earlier, and I don't remember the guy's channel. He's very popular, but he does not believe in polygraph tests. Now, we're going to say some things in favor
That's
of this.
exactly what I was just going to ask.
Yeah,
what is
I
your
figured-
point of, like, how do you feel about polygraph tests?
I don't know, because I don't think they're not admissible in court, so you can't use them in court. That says something. That says that they're not accurate. I think they said that one guy said that they were like only 51% accurate.
Right.
So, at the same time, yeah, I don't know whether it's to prove it or not prove it. I don't think that a polygraph test should even be in the fold at all.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I suppose. Okay, so like the one guy said, you know, if you have multiple, you know what I mean, people taking it about the same subject,
Right.
then it
That's
starts
different.
to lead a little more credence to it, I think.
Right.
But overall, one person, you know, one time kind of thing, that's, I really don't, take that to mean much of anything.
Yeah, I don't either. And, you know, before when I was on the side of this being real, I said, this is a game show. Who knows what kind of phony shit that they have on here?
Right.
Who knows if the polygraph examiner is even really well versed in doing this? We don't even know. And I thought, okay, it's a
Who it
game show,
was
it's a
or-
TV
yeah,
show.
Right.
But at the same time, this is not the first
Nope.
polygraph test that Travis failed. He also failed the original one,
Right.
which we are also going to show you here in a
And
moment.
that one was state, the state
Yes,
done.
the state done.
Right, yeah.
And there was one that he didn't show up for, and I know we'll put that up right here for everybody to see. There was one where I think it was November. It was maybe like 10 days after, and he failed to show up for it. It says, you know, that he did not show up for the polygraph test. So, you know, it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to show up for it, you know, that doesn't look good.
Right.
So, yeah. So then there was another guy on here, the one you were just talking about. He felt that Travis was being deceptive. We're gonna actually watch that one too.
Okay.
The one from the one
Yeah.
from the state. So I'll give you that back here. We're gonna react to that one as well.
Right. I wonder how much earwax we're swapping.
Wipe it off.
I just raw dogged it.
All right. All right. So here we go. We are going to.
And that's one thing you might have to get used to. The more I'm on camera, you might have to, like, we take everything very seriously, but
Yes.
also I have a very weird sense of humor.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, 100%.
Almost everything turns into a joke, but I mean, you know what I mean when I mean it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm gonna have to cut that whole section out, but I feel like I need a disclaimer for my
don't-
personality.
Just keep it in there, man. Just roll with it.
I received a call at my
Yeah,
home
Jack McCarthy.
asking me to come to the Sheraton Hotel in Scottsdale and not to tell anybody where I was going, period. Well, naturally, I told my wife and picked up my portable equipment and left for the hotel.
A lie detector is used to reveal whether a person is telling the truth by measuring pulse rate, respiration, and blood pressure.
It's just talking about what a lie detector is and is.
McCarthy thought he had the answer.
When I completed my examinations, after reading my charts, I rendered the opinion to the reporters from the National Enquirer that the charts were deceptive, and that, in my opinion, he was attempting to perpetrate a UFO hoax. Well, the lid blew off the room. I thought his brother Dwayne was going to throw me off the balcony.
And, you know, that's one thing I was thinking when he says that, right? He
Yeah.
was going to throw me off the balcony. And you didn't press a charge against him or anything, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I don't
you're
understand
state
why
functioned,
either.
You know, you're a government worker or whatever. If somebody threatens your life like that, shouldn't shouldn't he face some kind of jail time or penalty or something? Like, he just let that slide, I guess? Or
I guess
how did
so,
he get out of that situation? You know what I mean? That's
or
such
maybe,
a weird...
or maybe he was like, he was about to, but he didn't, so they can't really do anything about it.
Man,
Yeah.
I would still...
I know.
I wouldn't be happy with that.
I'm sure he wasn't. Which is kind of funny, too, because I think Dwayne might have been in on it, too. His brother.
Yeah.
So that's something that Steve talked about on our first podcast. He believes that he was...
Starting to get the feeling they're all in on it.
Well, let's take a look at this here.
Spoiler alert.
He was raging like a bull, saying there's no way that his brother would lie. And his charts were very, very clear, obviously deceptive. And prior to the examination, the reporters from the National Enquirer, I forgot to mention this, asked me if I would have any objection ahead of time to having pictures taken of my charts, the equipment, and myself following the examination. I said, no problem. Well, after I rendered my opinion, the pictures were completely forgotten. They had no more interest in pictures. But what they did do, they went into an adjoining room and drew up a little form for me to sign, asked me to sign it, to the effect that I wouldn't reveal where I had been that day, that I would say nothing about this examination, and so forth and so on.
Travis Walton argues that he failed the test because he was excessively nervous as a result of his recent close encounter with aliens.
Despite his claim of being overly nervous, his reactions on the chart are in itself a disclaimer to that contention. He was not overly nervous. His reactions were normal. They were very deceptive. And in my opinion, he was lying and did not take any UFO trip.
This is important,
So
too.
McCarthy felt the entire experience was a hoax.
We'll show
Travis
the, we'll
Walton
show
was
the
given
large
another
version
test
of that,
sometime
but
later, which he did pass.
Well, they,
Is it,
All
does
the
it say right
procedure
here?
used has been criticized.
the only one missing
Despite
from
the
this
controversy, the
is Steve
National
Pierce.
Enquirer gave the
Right.
forestry workers the UFO
They all got a
Encounter of
check.
the Year award,
That
with checks amounting to a
$5,000.
total of $5,000.
feels like it means something. Oh, and here we go with that. All right. Yeah.
So that's one of the other things that I
He pulled it out for me.
that's one of the things that really gets me about it is at the end of this, they all apparently got paid for their UFO story. That bothers me a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's expected. Well, it's not really expected. Did Barney and Bobby, or Barney and Benny Hill?
Betty and Barney Hill.
Betty and Barney, did they get paid?
I don't think so. No.
We should investigate that.
That's another
who all
one,
got
right.
paid, like, of these
That
UFO
one is
people.
definitely one that's on the list too. Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the problem is that again, take it for whatever you want when it comes to polygraph
it's another
tests.
polygraph, but it's another instance in which he failed.
Right.
Although I will say this guy seems a little more biased. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the game show host guy, I guess he was biased too, but he even
said
admitted he wanted to believe it. He
Right,
wanted it to be
right.
true. Well, this guy seems like he wanted it to be false to begin with. But both of them equal false. So, like I said, this is the point of the channel. We don't know what this means. Like, we don't, we have opinions on it, but we're not holding them any higher.
So
it's not truth yet.
Right.
So
So do you accept the polygraph test as truth, or do you have to just throw it all out the
throw
window?
it all out. I don't feel comfortable with either one of those answers.
Exactly. Right.
You know, like
that is where I'm at. I don't feel comfortable with
it's
either
like
one
it all
of them.
needs to be taken in context with each other.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. What? Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's so hard to pick and choose, and I don't feel comfortable with doing either one of them.
Yeah. No. You can't throw out the polygraph test, but you can't really hold them in very high regard, if any regard.
Right. Well, and the fact that Travis refused to show up for one, that says a lot.
But I mean, that could be due to anything.
Yeah, that's true too. Right.
Like, it might not even have anything to do with the polygraph test for the reason he
There's something that struck me as odd, though, and I really, really wanted to talk about this. When they were asked by Cy Gilson if they saw a UFO,
Is the wording of it.
yeah, he said, did you guys see what you perceived to be a UFO? Not if you saw a UFO.
Right. Which sounds like splitting hairs, but it leaves a door open for you to lie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. And I don't know why they would even ask that question, but that's really how they passed the polygraph test. Did you see what you perceived to be a UFO? Not did you
Right.
see a UFO? So
Right.
it's like, we all know
I
what
could stretch that out to, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an unidentified
something.
object.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Kind of look like a fire tower, but what do I know?
But what do I know? Yeah, what do I know? It was dimly lit. Yeah, it might have been a fire tower, but at the same time, yeah, it could have been a UFO too.
It was
sitting up
space
there.
aliens.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That is a huge problem.
Which kind of leads us into hear what Mike's about to say in his confession.
Yes. So this is actually very important. I know this is very, very debated. This is a very...
And to me, it's just as confusing as it is eye-opening.
It is, 100%. And I know why people are saying this is edited. And here's the thing. A lot of people are ripping on the guy that he was talking to. It doesn't matter who this guy is. I don't care if Mike was talking to a tree stump.
Right, yeah.
What
I remember you telling me some kind of screwed
right.
up, whatever. But again, it does. We're not worried about the guy that the interviewer or whatever. We're worried about Mike.
What Mike is saying.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you said, he could have been talking to a tree stump. It just,
all that matters is what
it's recorded, and
the other thing too is that we'll probably post this too. Mike said a lot of stuff about Travis on his Facebook. He was saying like how he's surprised at how many people actually believe Travis. Again, why would he say that? It's just this has gotten so baffling to me. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's hear exactly what Mike actually said when it comes to this whole thing.
I'm ready to react.
They're ready to react. All right.
Let's go.
All I can remember, is that we were talking in the woods one day, Travis and I, and I remember leaving a chainsaw on the stump. Okay, he had a saw, but he took his with him because we were talking about creating a UFO hoax. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how
they're talking about
the
creating.
UFO got there. Okay.
But
I remember that when I was driving the truck and he jumped out, it was all deliberate. It was all a staged thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And he ran up there, and there was something.
That's all you remember. It was staged.
There was something about the UFO not being real, although it looked
something
real.
about it not being
basically,
real.
so
And of course,
what you're saying is, you
And
and
then it kind of
Travis
derails from here.
together hoaxed this.
yeah. I mean, Travis's brother Dwayne helped him.
I believe that.
Helped him. Okay.
Actually suspected that Dwayne was part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was his protector. And
So at the end, he's saying that Dwayne was helping him, and then Dwayne was his protector.
Yeah.
But this whole thing, I get it. Mike is saying that this whole thing is a hoax. If it was real, why in the world would he say that? Why would he tell anybody that? But at the same time, then he's saying that I don't know how the UFO got there.
Right. Okay.
How do you not know how the UFO got there if you hoax this?
You know, it,
Like-
and you know that him falling down and all of that was a staged thing, but you don't know how it became a staged thing. It's like you're totally ignorant, but also in the know at the same time.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense. And it just occurred to me too. Mike Rogers does not know how the UFO got there, right?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
What, you know, but it looked realistic. This is the same guy that his daughter said he admitted to doing the Phoenix Lights and stuff.
Right.
So if anybody was the guy that was going to do the UFO, wouldn't it be him?
It would be Mike, because he created apparently the Phoenix Lights UFO on a ranch somewhere that he was, I guess, renting from somebody temporarily or something, you know, while the guy was out of town. So yeah, you would think that maybe Mike would have created the UFO. However,
or at least have some kind of idea of how it might have been created if you're smart enough to make the Phoenix Lights hoax, then...
Yeah. And the only thing that I can think of is that maybe he let Travis go, you know, hey, go create the UFO or go do something, and maybe he didn't see how it was done, but he knew that Travis was doing something. But then again, you know, that's just that's just a guess. Like, it's not proof of anything.
Right.
Although the only thing we know is Mike is saying that this whole thing was a hoax and that they staged the whole thing.
But has no idea how.
But has no idea how the UFO got there. Like,
or how it was staged, or he was in on it but knows nothing about it.
Was he drunk when he made this? I mean...
Well, that goes back to one of my theories, though, is I think... Because Steve admitted that back in those days, you know, and whatever, but for Steve personally, but they got fucked up on, they smoked weed and shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They were not squares, you know? It makes me wonder, hey guys, want to try a bag of shrooms? You want to try some shrooms tonight or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, pull up to this fire tower, you know, and it's all set up by Travis, and he's the only one that's sober. They're all fucked up.
Right.
Even Mike, possibly.
Possibly.
Which are they going to want to admit that they're on any drug? Especially back then, they don't want to admit that they're on weed.
Right.
On weed, you know, and much less anything harder like shrooms or acid or something. Mm-hmm. So is that, to me, that's the only thing that really explains how they could be fooled by it and think it's a hoax at the same time. But they don't want to admit that they were that.
Right.
And, you know.
Yes, exactly. And this is why at some point we're going to try to go out to a fire tower over here and see if they will actually let us get out there at night and maybe just dimly light it. Try to recreate the scene a little bit. We are going to try to do that.
Which we had talked about not too long ago is like, it's understandable even sober, because the radio tower outside right off of behind Kurt's on the back porch, you know, out in the woods.
Yeah, right.
Every
the radio
once in a
tower
while,
behind us.
we'll see that blink or something and be like, what was that? It's like, oh yeah, it's the radio tower.
Yep.
Even though we know it's there, you know, like when you're not thinking about it, when you're not in that state of mind, you know, like strange lights in the sky can, you know, freak you out.
Especially if this thing was dimly lit. And it was surrounded by trees. Now, we have a photo of it, too.
If they did any kind of modification to the tower that night.
Right, like, that's possible, too. Now, we have a photo of it, and we're going to put that up as well so people can see that. And you'll see how it
looks. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Who knows if that's how it looked that night necessarily, but
and that was
as
back
for
in
how
75.
it normally looks, we have the photo, we'll be showing that.
Right, we'll be showing that too, and you'll see exactly how it's surrounded by trees and at a distance, dimly lit.
You can't really see the legs on it because the trees kind of cover that.
They kind of covered it,
you know, at a certain distance from it, and yeah, like I could see if you've never seen. Especially, you said they were all new hires, right?
Yes, Steve said they were all new hires. He also said
they may not be, you know, they may not have ever seen a fire tower before.
Right. They might not have, and they were in the middle of pitch black woods. Now you have to think about it. There's no light out there at all except for that one thing. And if it's dimly lit, surrounded by trees at a distance up, it's probably going to look like something weird.
Wait a second. I thought of something pretty funny. Very ironic. What's the name of Travis's book and movie?
Fire in the Sky.
Right. And what's the name of that object on the screen?
Fire tower.
Fire.
I know, right? Exactly. Well, and that you made a really good point, actually, because in the book that they illustrated, I believe Mike drew it, he drew this white paneled-looking
We can show that image
UFO.
too. Yeah, we'll put that image up too.
We'll put that image right up there too.
Yeah, his
and
drawing.
yet he says that it was an orange glow in the distance, and, and Travis has said that before too. So to me, there's
fire in the sky.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So to me, there's a bit of a contradiction. Was it this big white paneled craft, or was it this orange glowing thing?
Right. Right.
So that to me is also a major problem.
And also, like, the beam that hit him.
Yeah.
How do you, like, a spotlight is not a beam.
Right.
I mean, I guess you have ones that you can focus pretty.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. It was a bluish.
Like the actual
focus
spotlight.
It was a very bluish
very
focus spotlight.
High Kelvin, I guess, is the blue.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it kind of makes you look at it going, yeah, this very easily could be hoaxed.
But that's what gets me is like, okay, so hoaxed, but nobody involved knows how it was hoaxed. Right. Everybody that knows it was a hoax, including Steve, don't seem to like know how. Like even Steve was like, we saw a UFO, and you're like, it was a light, a fire tower, right? And he's like, yeah, it was a fire tower. But you had to say it before he said it.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too, like back then, they all passed a polygraph test, so they believed what they saw was real, and even Steve said, I wanted to believe it.
Right.
He said, I wanted to believe it.
But he also said, oh, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he said
that I was going off of, he said that he knew it was fake, but he was talking about the other thing.
Yeah, so Steve was actually told, now this kind of goes back to the confession thing too. Steve was told by Mike Rogers, it was about 2.5 years ago, that this was all a hoax, and it validated what Steve was saying now, and what he, I guess maybe what he had thought and what he'd felt. It kind of validated him. Now, at the same time, that kind of validates what Mike Rogers' daughter was saying. It also validates this phone call too. Right. So, but then...
But on the other hand, you got the timing of the act of God thing.
Yes.
Where the contract or the lack of money, that night they weren't hauling any trees or cutting down any trees, so they weren't making any money.
Right. If you're behind on your contract, you're probably going to get fined, and I think that's what's happening here. And an act of God gets them out of the contract.
What does it say? They're getting fined $1 a tree, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, and they were clearing stuff. Like they weren't making any money. They were just clearing stuff up. So they were behind, and I think that's probably why they got out of the contract. I think that's the motivation behind it.
Like your crew's down, you're not making any money. Hey, like we got to clean up this brush instead of cutting down the trees. Here's something to make you feel better. Here's a few beers. Here's some weed. You guys ever tried shrooms before?
Well, and Steve made a very good point.
And then all of a sudden, all this happens after they get all.
Yeah.
That's just my working theory.
Right. But Steve made a very good point too. And we have this in one of our shorts, but it was the only night where they actually worked until the sun went down.
That was the first
and Mike kept disappearing. And well, if this was a hoax, as he's been saying that it was.
But if he kept disappearing, he should know what he's disappearing to go do.
Right. So why did he say he didn't know what the UFO was? Oh man. Yeah, I know. It just seems like there's a whole bowl full of shit, and because of a lot of these different things, I do believe that it's a hoax because of the admittance, because of the failure of the polygraph test, because of the money they got from National Enquirer. This all seemed very, very hoaxy.
See, for me, it's so convoluted that I came into this kind of opposite of you, thinking that it was a complete hoax. I thought there was no truth to this. It was just a couple of, a bunch of log workers or whatever, just making stuff up for clout. But as we got into it, hearing the confusion of the witnesses, the people that apparently have a part of this, now I'm like, well, what the fuck did happen?
No.
Like what actually did happen, though?
Yeah, and that's the conclusion that I came to. I'm pretty confident in saying that it probably was a hoax, but at the same time, I can't say this is fact or fiction because it's so convoluted.
Yes. I feel like everybody's lying.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's lying.
Right. Right.
About it being real and about it being a hoax. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I know. It's no, you're not wrong, because that's where it's gotten to. Because Mike, after he admitted this was all a hoax and this was all fake, then he goes on this guy's podcast and he says, no, it was all edited. I was talking about Philip Class, but then when you play back the audio, he's not talking about anybody in the way that he's speaking. And when he was asked this, the guy read everything that Mike said word for word, and Mike was tripping over his words. He was just like, oh yeah, well, I don't know how he edited it, but he did.
Right.
And just like, he offered no explanation of what he actually told.
Right.
So and when you hear, I don't believe this is edited. I really don't. That's just
Right.
my opinion.
Yeah. This particular conversation. Yeah, I don't feel like it's clipped from a longer conversation.
Right.
But,
obviously, right.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's been edited together. And then at one point, I guess Mike had taken that back and said, no, that wasn't edited. But then he goes back on the show and says it was edited again. So he just keeps jumping back and forth.
And then the same thing with his daughter with the the post or whatever about the confession, and then she takes it down.
Right, and then she takes it down. Now, I asked Steve about this. I'm glad you brought that up and reminded me of that. Steve was like, I guess they got to her too because she took it down.
Right.
Like,
did someone get to her, or did she, find out something different? Like, but
now I think the Phoenix Lights is something we're going to get into next too, because
we have to investigate that because
it's tied to this now.
Tied to this, yeah.
I never
in order to
expected
figure
that.
out this, we need to understand the Phoenix Lights, which is not something I ever expected.
I didn't either.
But
that was
now there's a direct connection between Mike in the Phoenix Lights. So.
There is somebody in our comment section that I do need to get a hold of.
But if we do find out that so if we do find out that he did have something with the Phoenix Lights, that leads even more questions about this, because how does he not know? That brings me back to he would be the guy that knows about the UFO,
Right. He would
but
know
he doesn't know. And they say Mike kept leaving and blah, 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 blah. It makes it sound like he's the guy that sets up the UFO to make it look like a UFO or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, he doesn't know how the UFO got there.
Yeah, I know. I can't get over that. I don't know how it got there.
And his word choice, I don't know how the UFO got there, instead of, I don't know how they made it look like a UFO.
Right.
Well, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Like you made
and
it's
that's
a
why
hoax,
I went from the other side of not believing to now I'm like, well, what did happen?
Right, exactly. And I think that's kind of where we're at in all of this. Like, what did happen? I do feel that it's a hoax, but I don't understand how this happened.
Right.
And I thought I knew all of the answers to it, and I think now I'm more confused than ever.
Imagine that it was a hoax. It was set up, Travis and Mike and blah, 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 blah. And then they go to pull off the hoax, and that's when a real UFO encounter happens.
The real UFO comes in. Imagine that. 1 in a million shot. Yeah, 1 in a million shot, right?
I mean, that's kind of where my brain's going now. They're up there watching like, oh, you want some irony, huh?
Right. Hey, let's just come down there and do it anyways.
You're already planning on it.
You're already planning on it, right? That's really funny. But that's kind of where this has all gone to.
No. Which I don't actually believe that. I just
right.
I'm just trying to come up with some answer to make this make sense.
Yeah, and I know, it is very, very hard to come up with anything, and that's why, me knowing Steve for a very long time, I'm trying to get as much clarity as I possibly can. And as you all know, Steve, he gives it to you straight. He don't hold back. Right, and and that's kind of where I get into, like, that's why it's so important that you interview everybody. And Steve, me knowing Steve for a really long time, it helped a lot to clear some of my confusion and questions about it. Mm-hmm. So, but still, no matter what, like, I'm still just utterly confused about how this happened. And even remotely, why Mike would say that it's a hoax, but then, I don't know. this is one thing I thought we were going to leave it as complete fiction. But at this point, I have to say it's undetermined.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much for me to sit here and say, well, I don't understand what half of anybody is saying now.
Right.
One person saying it's a hoax, then they take it back. Then this person says, yeah, you know, this was a hoax. And then the next thing you know, like, you got somebody else failing a polygraph test, and then somebody saying, no, this is edited. And then it's just like too much back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, what is really going on here?
Yeah. And like Armored Skeptic was saying, it, like, the consistency of Travis's story is kind of, you know, it can be an indicator,
Right.
you know, of a story, right? Because you rehearse the story, you stick with the story, blah, blah, blah. But the inconsistency of everybody else around it, like...
Right. I know. It's
everybody's very inconsistent in this.
all right. So yeah, we're gonna play this last clip. This one, I brought this to your attention because I thought what Travis said was bizarre, and I wouldn't have answered it that way.
Well, I kind of feel like it makes sense to me.
But at the same time, I understand why, because he's referring to this particular person.
And that'll bring us into the discussion of our perspectives of Travis, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, go ahead and take it to the part where... There we go.
Okay. Here we go.
And then it just shot straight up outside.
In the 5 days he was missing, Travis remembers only 2 hours. And those, he says, were aboard the spacecraft. Where was he the rest of the time?
A person with stimulation in this area could have amnesia for several days, but during that period he could undergo completely normal activity. And what he might do is, after 4 or 5 days of amnesia, he may wake up and suddenly find himself in an odd place. But during the amnesic event, he may have undergone more or less normal kinds of behaviors. He just wouldn't remember it.
There is no doubt Travis Walton believes he is telling the truth about what he experienced. He doesn't accept the Persinger-Brady theory.
Well, if they had evidence, you know, more conclusive than what I, you know, am able to gather from what happened to me, then I would be willing to accept it. You know, it's just that I accept the beings in a craft explanation because it just works better, it fits better. It's so much, you know, it's obvious that that's what it was to me.
What Dr. Persinger offers is a scientific alternative, a theory which may explain many of these mysterious sightings and encounters. But since scientists do deal in probabilities and not in absolutes, the most Dr. Persinger can say is that it's unlikely that Travis encountered a spacecraft. That possibility, however, cannot be totally dismissed.
So,
yeah,
this is why I had a problem with this. I realized that he is referring to, you know, what they were trying to say as, yeah, this is some kind of shock and he was hallucinating for 5 days or whatever. I think that's a really dumb explanation. But
yeah, the way they explain it is like he didn't have an experience, but his non-experience was caused by an actual experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Sense. Yeah.
Like,
he definitely wasn't abducted by a UFO or saw aliens or anything, but he got zapped, and that traumatized him into having this experience. What did he get zapped by?
Right, then you got to go back to that. Like, what did he get zapped by? Yeah. Like, really? Did you kind of just confirmed his story?
Yeah.
So, but this is the
aside
problem.
From that,
that's the problem, though, is it's been years and years and years of everybody asking the wrong questions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's where it brings it into a category of being undetermined, because I'm as confused as ever.
Right.
I don't believe that Travis was abducted by, you know, a UFO to save his life or anything, but Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's not just because of all this evidence that we brought to light.
Right.
But at the same time, some of it doesn't make any sense. So,
but what was your perspective on his response?
Yeah, so if somebody sat there and said, well, you know, you got zapped, but you were hallucinating, I'd be like, no, I remember I was fully conscious. They saw it. I woke up. It happened.
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Right.
But it happened. And I was fully conscious.
And for me, it kind of makes sense because he wasn't fully conscious. He was. He woke up for a minute or two.
Right.
According to him, he woke up. He fought those little guys off for like a couple of seconds. They didn't put up any resistance.
Right. No,
he
they
walked
just
out,
ran
saw
off.
that control room. They, you know, hey,
then the
blah,
guy
blah, blah,
came in.
come back here. And then she put the mask on his face and he was out.
Right.
So to me, that's like a 2-3 minute experience. So when he says, you know, their explanation makes more sense to me, or my explanation makes more sense to me than their explanation does.
Right.
To me, that sounds right because he's being like third person objective. Like if I, you know, heard somebody else say this.
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying too. Like he's trying to not really squash their opinion.
Because he's almost like he's acting like he's not choosing a belief either. It's just what makes sense to him.
And he's responding to what they're saying. You know, I understand that, but yeah.
So I don't know. What's your perspective on that? Like, how do you feel?
Us.
Are you on his side or my side about like?
Right.
Is it an odd way to respond because, you know, you would just say, no, I know the experience I had? Or, you know, is it more on my side of like, well, I'm not even sure of the experience I had, but my explanation makes more sense to me than theirs does. Maybe it's an autism thing. Or, you know, I don't know. Like, so, but I mean, I do understand what you're saying too. Like, I do understand, like, if you had that experience, like, you know, I almost got hit by a car today. Are you sure, you know, it was a car and it wasn't just a bird flying by?
Well, it's just what fits best. I got
like,
hit by...
That would be,
Right, just imagine if I answered that kind of way.
Yeah, that would be...
You get hit by a car,
right.
It's just what fits best.
That would be weird. What?
What? Well, what did you get hit by?
Right,
well, I'm pretty sure it was a car.
But if I told you, hey, I was knocked out for a while, I woke up for a minute, thought I almost got hit by a car or something, then you know, question, are you sure it was a car? It's like, I don't know, that's what fits best in my head.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, but we weren't inside his head to know exactly how he was feeling. He wrote the book and stuff, you know, of, you know, I was out, I woke up, I was out again.
Right.
Either way, it's another level of confusion on top of this whole cake of
and that's exactly what it is. It's another level of confusion.
Plus, they're bad questioning.
Right, bad questioning.
Bad assumptions.
Bad assumptions.
Obviously, this whole thing was imagined by him, but it was caused by.
But it was caused by a real
something
being
really
zapped.
happening. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, yeah, I'm kind of hoping that maybe I did. By the way, I did reach out to Mike Rogers' daughter. Yeah. I did send her a message. I don't know if she's going to respond.
Right.
I really hope that she does come on the podcast, because if she did in fact record that, and she does have that, and she does want to get this out, then that would probably squash this whole thing once and for all.
Then again, it's kind of just another opinion on top, unless she brings something tangible.
That's what I'm saying. If she brings the recording of him,
the actual recording of him, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if she has that,
then again, it's just him saying. You know, this is why I think it's important to find out if he really had something to do with the Phoenix Lights, because then that will give more credence to it creating this. But at the same time, his response to this is, I don't know how it got there. So.
Oh, I faked the Phoenix Lights, but I don't know how the UFO got up there. There is somebody in our comment section that was friends with Mike Rogers and said that he...
Well, I'd like to know for sure.
We will find out, yes. And he said that he knows how he, faked the Phoenix Lights. So we'll reach out to him.
Which is one of the reasons we want to get in touch with Michelle, is to verify that that they does know that they do know each other.
Right.
Though she may not remember, that doesn't necessarily mean that she remembers.
Right, that's true too.
But we're going to do our best. The way I consider it right now, yeah, it's undetermined. We're still halfway through this, probably.
Yeah, like I said, we still might do the fire tower thing. Hopefully, we do get Steve back at some point, and hopefully we get some word from Michelle, and yeah.
And hopefully, by the research and the stuff that we presented, and the fact that we got Steve on, should already let you know we do intend on digging deeper into these subjects than most people normally do. We don't want to bring just the colloquial knowledge, you know, and like just do a very surface level kind of investigation
or generic, just generalities.
We're not trying to present the stuff that everybody knows. We're trying to get in and ask the questions that nobody else is asking, and you know, like dig in as far as we can go into these subjects and actually find out what is fact and what is fiction.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have anything else to add, Devin?
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You guys
all.
are awesome.
Yes. I'm sorry that we weren't able to do a part 3 yet. I'm still hoping.
Steve said he would come back. We just don't know when yet.
Right. We just don't know when yet. So hopefully.
Very looking forward to that, though.
Me too.
Very looking forward to that.
Yep.
Maybe he can even, if we have this out, he can see this.
Yeah.
You know, and
give
his response.
Give his response to it.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys, and anything you have to offer us.
Let us know.
Any information that you might have, even if you think you might have it, or just an idea you might have that helps any of this make sense. You know, don't be afraid to bring it to us. Like, comment section's always open.
I've been commenting with a lot of people on it, and one person thanked me for being diplomatic about it, and I said I have to be.
Yeah, and I haven't jumped on to the channel so much because or in the comments or anything, because I haven't shown my face on the channel yet. So I do plan on kind of being a bigger part of this and being with him with some of these interviews and stuff. It just hasn't worked out that way yet. Been busy doing other stuff. So this is it'll mostly be him, but I'll be jumping in sometimes too you know, on certain investigations or whatever. But most of the time I'm going to be behind the camera and doing that. So I think that's us. I think that's it.
I think that's it for this one. Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. Until then, thank you very much, and have a good one.
Yeah. See you guys.
See you later.
Talk up, bang, fuck, I'm dead. And Yoda just licked himself the whole fucking time.